Hi, everybody. Sorry I'm late. I didn't give myself long enough. I went to wash my hair. Sandy, if you're here, see? Hi, Alicia. My boo. Whisper to me. John Wasaki. Anna. Justin. So, yeah, it's still a little bit wet, but Sandy, if you're listening, it's getting lighter, see? But it's falling out like crazy. I was telling Davita, but I'm scared because look at this. Every time I just stand like in the bathroom, in the sink there to brush my teeth, there's hair in the sink. And then on the drain when I just washed it in the bathtub. Maybe it'll redo, maybe it'll regrow. Remember how it used to do that in our younger days? Hey, Tammy. Hi, Sparks. I'm about to get off work. Glad I get to join you live on my drive home. Good, I'm glad. Hey, Moo. Moo, are you ready to listen? Is Carolyn here yet? Hi, Karen H. Hi, Julianne Gonzalez. No, it hasn't been thick for years and years and years. But now it's just really, wow. It's scary. Could be all the medicine I'm on too, like the thyroid medicine. They just lowered that. But I'm going to find the stories. Sorry I'm late. I have this books right here. Sugar scrub on your scalp and get some Rogaine for women. Really? Really? Hey, Davita. Hi, Why Wonder. Got some of the girls here to listen to their bedtime stories. Did y'all know? I believe this was mine or my sister Becky's when we were little kids. My mama or someone bought them for us. We had the same ones. And my mama gave it to me. Hi, Shannon. Yep, she's an old girl too. Same dress and everything. Look at those chubby little legs. And no, I'm not showing porn. This isn't porn. It's a cute baby little girl. She's almost as old as I am now. But look how cute the legs are. They're so chubby. I just noticed that. And here they're all got some big old calves. Of course, it wouldn't be right. Hi, Captain Lee fan. Yeah, chubby legs, right, Anna? Alicia B. So I've been thinking about you. I'm so glad you shared your story the other night. Touches me in my heart. Hey, Mama Ramblings. I know I shouldn't be playing with them. I should just get out my color foams. Remember, I showed you all those color foams I have from way long ago, the originals. Miss Weathers something, where it has the boots and all that and the raincoat. Does she remind you of your grandma's doll you had growing up, which my mother now has in her care? The doll's name is Tony. 1 minute, I meant to ask Lexi something before I start. There we go.
Cross your eyes when you inhale.
Hi, John Wasaki. Hey, Billy Jones. I don't think I've seen you before. Welcome. Hi, Elizabeth T. Hey, can you hear me now? I was muted. Meg Healy. I always answer you in chats, Meg Healy, and you never seem to see it. What's up with that? I easily distracted. And this little girl, she gonna be listening too.
Hey,
now don't be scared of her. Don't be afraid.
Hi, Alicia. Hi, whisper to me.
I keep putting clothes on her, and gosh, yeah, dang it, she keeps taking them off. She's one of them kind of babies. She just wants to run around without a stitch of clothes on. Okay, she's going to sit right here.
Hi, Karen H. Hi, Kat. See you, Sam.
Okay, I'm just going to sit her down because she's not going to sit up here. I need to get a GoFundMe to get a real stage.
Hi, Davida.
Oh, you guys ask Grandpa if you want some water.
Grandpa, you want some water?
Thanks, Mom.
We're going to start on the Christmas ones again.
He's fine. He still has half a cup.
Still have a cup?
Yeah.
Okay, y'all ready? Davida said, hey. Isn't that cute, though, when they would always rip off their diapers and go running? It was so darn cute. Maddie was the one that really loved to do that. And Jack would laugh his head off because she was a chubby girl. She was 10 pounds when she was born. And yes, yeah, Maddie was 10 pounds. She was Bonnie's biggest. And Bonnie had her at home with her midwife, and she had Amelia at home with her midwife. Jack was the only one born in the hospital. Okay, Carolyn. I believe it. I want to see the receipt. When I'm done, I want you to snap a photo of what you were working on. Okay. But Maddie had a big old tummy, and Jack would just laugh as she went streaking through the house. Amelia was a tiny little thing, and she was always running naked. Okay. Look at this, y'all. I forgot I had this book, but I'm going to read from the magazine. I just wanted to show you this. I thought it was kind of neat. A book that I bought, I think at a thrift store, an antique store that's not far from here. They've closed it down now, though. It's called The Crisis, and it is, somebody has written Laureen, or is that Lawrence? Lawrence?
I think it's a Lawrence.
Lawrence. And they wrote Good. I guess that's their name. And then somebody wrote Howard S. Stale. And this is, what year was this, guys? This was, my goodness, look at this. Look at the.
You can definitely tell that it's an old book.
Oh, it's an old book. It's the Macmillan Pocket Classics. And they have all these other titles that you could get at the time. See, there's got to be a year. I have several things like this that I would buy from that lady. I just can't believe she sold that place, and the building she had, the shed, it's all crumpled in. And they do have like some kind of a store there in the back that looks really cute, but there's never anybody there. I've walked up and knocked. The lights will be on in the house. Nobody's home. But let me just see.
1925.
Oh my goodness, New York, the Macmillan Company, 1925.
By Winston Churchill.
Oh, this was written by Winston Churchill, who I just love and adore. I would love to have pinched his cheeks. Look, Abraham Lincoln in the front. Look at that, guys. No, Meg, I was just muted to ask Lexi something. Isn't that cool though? You have this, S. Sparks? Are you for real? See, I forgot I even bought this. It's been so long. Maybe sometime we'll do this, but
I don't know how much money that would be. Like how much it'd be worth.
it says copyright 1901
Wow.
and then printed 1921 by the Macmillan Company, published January 1921, printed in the United States of America. See, I bought this and forgot I even had it. And it was sitting right on top of my dresser with some other stuff. Yes, he did write many books. Okay, y'all. I'm sorry. We'll get started. Okay. I love my books, S. Sparks. Okay, here we go. You guys can hear me and everything. Okay. This says, "Dear friends of the good old days, it seems almost everyone has a Christmas morning surprise story." This is the editor of the magazine. I need to use my spray to get my hair up. Oh, well. This is the magazine. We've published many over the years. It seems almost everyone has a Christmas morning surprise story. We have published many over the years, and this issue carries on that tradition. The tales tell of hard times and tight budgets, but always allow for a sliver of childlike faith and hope to shine through. And sure enough, come dawn, there was something under the tree that astonished us and kindled an enduring sense of humility and gratitude. I recall one such Christmas in our family. I'm guessing it was around 1974. Now, see, we're getting a little bit newer here. Mods, first time I really get to say this, please keep an eye out. So far, they're being good, but please keep an eye out. I see there's someone, just keep an eye out. Dad was a hardworking blue-collar man. Mom worked part-time at a bank. Money was not freely spent. We 5 kids knew not to ask for much on our birthdays and at Christmas. but we were always delighted with whatever we received. This particular Christmas, the piles beneath the tree were modest, to say the least, but we were thrilled all the same. Then my dad called us to the kitchen window. A deer was behind the house, he told us. It wasn't a deer. It was a brand new snowmobile with a big red bow on it. To say we were amazed is an understatement. This was beyond our wildest dreams. Several of our neighbors had snowmobiles, and they regularly rode them in the fields and trails behind our home. But we never imagined we could afford one. I learned years later that my dad traded weeks of work with the snowmobile dealer in order to acquire it for us. We ran that thing for years until it could go no more. But the story and the toasty warm emotions that go with it remains. We present this issue to you with an air of Christmas morning like excitement and anticipation. And our wish is for that old familiar sliver of childlike faith and hope to shine throughout your holiday season. Till next time, Mary Beth Weisenberger. And then for next month, I guess, or whatever, it says, P.S. Did you enjoy a particular park or playground in your good old days? Do share. Tell us about that one unforgettable time at your favorite outdoor hangout. Follow the submission guidelines, and your story could appear in the future issue. Hi, Janae Ann. Hi, Mike. One second. Be right back, guys. I'm right here. I'm just doing something for a minute. I'll be right there. I'm right here. Don't yell like somebody always seems to do at Carolyn's. It's really dumb because every time she puts her camera off, somebody yells, Carolyn, where are you going? It's really ridiculous. I just don't understand. Carolyn, I think you'll know what I'm talking about. If you were listening, you would know I was saying keep an eye out. Okay, rendered speechless. In the moment of truth, her mind went blank. This is by Josephine P. Pasquarello. Here's Josephine was brave until she came face to face with the jolly old elf. See, baby? Yeah, we're going to read that to everybody that's here. They like stories just like you. Carolyn DeVita wants to know what your decoupaging. Oh, good. I'm glad, Pamela. I almost called you Penelope. Here we go. It's a Saturday, shortly before Christmas, December 15th, 1956. The smell of Christmas cookies filled the air. Out of 12 children in our family, 6 of us still believe in Santa Claus. My oldest sister, Trudy, and her boyfriend, Pat, just announced they're going to go see Santa, and all who believe in him are welcome to come. Yes, Moo. Okay, I'm going to shut that out. Oh, sound off. Sorry. Okay. George, John, Carmela, Josephine, that's me, Antoinette, and Anna all pile into Pat's car. As Pat begins driving, he tells us where we are going, to the largest department store in Center City, Philadelphia, John Wanamaker's. Does that sound familiar to any of you Philadelphian people? As we all begin cheering, Trudy says, when we get there, we must stay all together. There will be lots and lots of people there, and we don't want any of you to get lost. To keep the six of us quiet, Pat begins telling us stories of when he was a kid and how every year he would go to Wanamaker's to see Santa and all the new toys. Just the mere mention of toys pops the bubble of silence, and all of us begin talking at once. I see Trudy and Pat look at each other and begin to laugh. Obviously, keeping 6 young children quiet at Christmas time is impossible. When we walk through the front door of Wanamaker's, we can feel the excitement in the air. We are all instructed to hold hands. Pat leads the way to the grand court. I can't stop looking at all the people. The adults are all dressed up, and the kids are all wearing snowsuits just like us. Oh boy, you should see the monorail. Pat stops for a minute and tells us it's called the Rocket Express. It hangs from the ceiling of the 8th floor and dashes back and forth so we can see all of the newest toys below. This is better than a train ride. As we climb on board, we pretend it's Santa's sleigh. There are dolls, trucks, cowboy hats, and all kinds of stuff for us kids to ask Santa for. I can't stop smiling because I am thinking, what's Santa going to leave for me under the tree this year? As we approach the grand court, we can hear the beautiful organ playing. I feel like I am in church. I cannot believe how beautiful the music is. The organ is gold and all shiny. I probably could have seen my face in it, but we aren't close enough. The grand court is decorated with mirrored balls and bells. There's an enormous Christmas display with a magical Christmas tree that is lit with different colors of lights. There are so many kids. Some are yelling and others are crying. I hear one little girl tell her mother that she's afraid of Santa Claus. Not me. I want a new toy. I'm not going to cry. How else will Santa ever know that I want a doll? Besides, how many of us kids in here have really been good all year? But I'm not telling Santa I wasn't, so I hope he won't ask me if I was a good little girl. Trudy suddenly stops all of us kids. She points up and says, "Be quiet." Suddenly, lots of beautiful red, yellow, green, and blue lights come on. We can see the magic Christmas tree topped by an Advent star. Pat tells us this is the first year for this light show display. If my eyes get any wider, I think they'll explode. There must be thousands of lights, all lit up at once. I see Frosty the Snowman, the Sugar Plum Fairy, and my favorite, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. This day is so much fun. We're all laughing and enjoying this wonderland for kids. We are now in the area where they take your photo with Santa. I can see Santa sitting in his big red velvet chair. Oh, he is so big and a little frightening to me. When I tell my brothers that I changed my mind, I can't sit on Santa's lap because I'm scared, they all laugh at me and tell me they will bring me up to him. As I'm standing in line waiting for my turn, I tell myself, if my brothers can tell Santa they have been good all year and they aren't scared, then I can too. It's finally my turn. I climb onto Santa's lap and I'm so excited to tell him that I want a baby doll. But when he looks at me and smiles, my mind goes blank. I can't think of a word to say. This has never happened to me before. I always have something to say. But the lines under his all-knowing eyes and the smile hiding under his silky beard make me realize this is really Santa, the magical man who sees and knows everything. I never say a word. I just sit on his lap and smile when they take a photo. Anyway, I know that he will bring me my baby doll because, after all, he is Santa Claus. He gives me a candy cane. Before getting off his lap, I open the paper cover and stick the candy cane into my mouth. Oh, does the peppermint taste good? I love my candy cane. After seeing Santa Claus, we go over to see the Dancing Waters Enchanted Fountain. This also is lit up with lights. I could stand here forever looking at all the colored lights. I am in a fairy tale and I don't want to come out of it. It's fantastic. Trudy is telling us to all hold hands again because we are going outside onto Market Street. She and Pat want to take us to a restaurant for hot cocoa with whipped cream and cookies. I can't stop turning around as we're leaving the store. I want one more glance at all the beautiful decorations. I don't want to forget this day ever. As we are walking to the restaurant, we look into all the store windows to see the Christmas displays. We can't believe how many toys are in Wanamakers and all the store windows. We have never seen so many toys in our lives. But I do see the baby doll I want from Santa in one of the windows. Oh, she is pretty. She wears a red dress and has long dark hair and dark eyes. Not one of us is ready to leave the fantasy and go home to reality. It has been a fantastic Christmas time in our city of brotherly love. I wish it were Christmas every day. This is one of my happiest days ever. It was a magical time. Does anybody know that store? Refused to sit there. You never pushed her. 0 pictures with Santa. How cute. Yeah, Wanamakers in Philadelphia. Just wondered if anybody was in here that has heard of the store. Flashback fun. The instrumental Sleigh Ride was composed in 1948 and recorded by Arthur Fiedler and the Boston Pops Orchestra in 1949. Lyrics were written in 1950, and the Ronettes recorded a popular version of the song for Phil Spector's 1963 album, A Christmas Gift for You. Is High 61 in here? Hi, Kristen, Vita Siv. Hi, Moonchild Pink. Hey, Bridget. They still make Western wear and historic clothing. Nope, not in here. I just thought High 61 would particularly enjoy this one, so I'll wait if he ever comes in. Hi, Muppets. You sweet thing, you. Hi, Deb B. Did I read this one to you guys yet? Fruitcake Weather. Did I read this or no? I can't remember. Oh, yes, I did. I did. Didn't I? Yeah, I did. Yeah. Okay. I didn't read you guys Tanti's Tales. Tanti. It's a German word for auntie. I don't know if I'm saying that right, Moo. Oh, okay, Meg. Yeah, no problem. Might have been a mistake or something. It's okay, don't worry. Okay, Ethel Mertz, I'll turn her this way. Your baby. See her cute little teeth? She does have little tiny teeth. Okay, baby, sorry. I'm sorry. My little angel. And she has her eyes have real eyelashes. And they open and close. But they don't open and close anymore. Yeah, little tiny teeth. Okay. Moo, is it Tanti? Tanti? Moo. You know, you're learning all these languages. Tanti. I'm just going to call her Tanti. Hi, California Thunder. Hi, Kevin. I was wondering if you were here. I would love to see him, Meg Healy, sometime. Yes. Hi, Slamarin. Tanta is how you pronounce it. Tanta? Tanta? Okay. Yeah, Meg, you'll need to come on Carolyn some night and show all of us. We love seeing collections from people. Come on Mommy Ramblings one night, Meg, and show us, okay? Okay, Tanta was Tanta, right? Tanta's Tales. Her stories were uncommonly captivating by Ruth Endler Brown. Tanta is the German word for auntie, and it's pronounced Tanta, just like you said, Esparks. Okay, Meg, yes, we'll fix a time, sure. During the years I was growing up in rural North Dakota in the 1930s and 40s, our father's Aunt Catherine was a beloved member of our household. We younger children enjoyed going to her room in the afternoons for story time. She was a wonderful storyteller and kept us enthralled with her accounts of the Grimm brothers' fairy tales. There were 210 of these tales in all. I don't know if Tanta knew them all, but she certainly knew a good many. We had our favorites, and we would ask for them more than once. They were not your modern Disney versions, but the originals, which were sometimes rather harsh when villains or charlatans were being punished or otherwise dealt with. Tanta told the stories in her High German language. We would sit on the floor around her as she sat in her rocking chair while she spun out the tales. She also kept us entertained with stories of her youth and early adulthood. She had been a bit of a tomboy as a youngster and a bit of a mischief maker. We loved hearing about her childhood adventures. She had been nicknamed Schwartz Cat, Black Cat, meaning black cat, I guess, by her family as a young girl because she was always up to some prank. Tanta married a man who owned a brewery, and they vacationed each summer in the Swiss Alps. She loved to dance and had many beautiful ball gowns. Unfortunately, her husband died young and she became a widow. She married a second time, this time to a physician. They immigrated to the United States and settled in Arkansas. Though he was a doctor, her husband did not place much importance on money. There was a lot of poverty in the area at that time, and he treated all persons who came to him for help, often accepting little pay in return. Sometimes the pay was not money, but a sack of cornmeal, or a chicken, or some eggs. It was a bit hard for Tanta to make do at times, but her husband was beloved by everyone around there because of his kindness and care. The two were childless, and so, after his death, Tanta came to live with our family in North Dakota. I was not yet born at that time, so I don't remember a time without her. Having three generations in one house was not uncommon at that time. People took care of their elderly and handicapped in their homes more than they do now. Tanta did many chores around the house. She helped with cooking and canning, churning butter, washing dishes after meals, and so on. Her eyesight was growing poor, but she still was an asset in our family. Tanta was very devout in her faith, and she spent a lot of time in prayer in her room upstairs. She also mended all of her clothing by hand, but she could not see well enough to thread her needle. When she needed someone to do this for her, she would rap on the floor of her room with her broom handle. This was her signal for one of us children to go up and take care of that. I liked doing it for her and was usually the one who hurried upstairs. Once I did something that I was later ashamed of. As an 8-year-old, I liked to fashion things out of mud. I made myself a mud glove and went to Tanta saying, "Tanta, let's shake hands." The texture and coldness of the mud must have felt strange. It was late afternoon and the light was waning, and that, together with the fact that she did not see well anymore, gave her a start, and she jerked back with a little cry. I realized that it had been a disrespectful thing to do, and I regretted it. Tanta loved visiting the neighbors now and then, and in the country, they were miles apart. She would take up her cane, call to me, and together we would walk the rural roads to see her friends. In those days, children were to be seen and not heard, and also in relation to adults, not to speak unless spoken to. So I always waited quietly and patiently while the adults conversed with each other. Their talk, which was in German, was not very interesting to me as a rule, so I usually paid no attention to it. But sometimes I overheard a bit of interesting gossip. Afterward, I accompanied Tanta home again. Tanta died in 1959 at the age of 95. Her memory and her storytelling will always be dear to me. I feel fortunate to have had my great aunt living in my home during my growing up years. She probably does whisper to me. I didn't read Candy Confession, right? Where she savored every forbidden bite. I don't think I did. Or did I? Frances, here's a picture. Frances tried to keep her promise, but the chocolate proved too tempting. Hi, Scott. I don't think I read this one. Well, that's in German, though, Alicia. What can I say? I'm going by the story. It might be different in Spanish. Don't yell at me, Alicia. My boo. Did I buffer? Okay. Don't yell at me, Alicia. Yeah. Hi, spinning crosses. We're just reading some stories. Christmas time was going to be special in 1958 at Krogan School. The PTA, not the PTO, you'll be happy to know that, Mommy Ramblings. Hey, Tammy. The PTA was putting together boxes of bonbons, and each child was going to receive one from Santa. You're welcome, Scott. Hi, baby doll. And hi, Debbie, whichever Debbie is here. That each child was going to receive from Santa. Being a third grader, I knew there was the real Santa and he had helpers. Mama was up front telling me the Santa's helpers coming to your classroom is going to be Jonathan's father. Jonathan's family managed the historic Hotel Fremont in my hometown of Fremont, Ohio. Jonathan was a ginger with eyes greener than mine. To celebrate his birthday, he invited our entire class to lunch at the hotel, including our teacher. We were transported by school bus. In the elegant Krogan room, we dug into thick cheeseburgers and fries. Ooh, that sounds good. I haven't eaten anything yet today. Not even one morsel. Martha Freeman. I know, I'm just joking, Alicia, because I love you. Learning that Jonathan's father would talk was worrisome news. My interactions with Jonathan consisted only in class and shout, "Don't give Francis a present, Pops." Oops, I mean Santa, while everybody laughed. Mama had one simple request. Francis, when you get your box of bonbons, don't eat any until you get home. You can have all the pieces. I just want to see it first. The PTA has made such a big ado over it. I'm curious to see for myself. Our last day before Christmas vacation finally arrived. Before I left the house, Mama sternly reminded me, "Don't you forget, Lady Jane." That was the name Mama used for me when she meant business. "Don't touch any of that candy until I have seen it." Then came the real clincher. "I know how many pieces are in the box, so I'll know if you take one." Glumly, I walked to school, wondering if Mama really did know how many pieces of candy were in each box. I consoled myself by thinking about Santa giving us our presents right before dismissal. However, I had forgotten it was going to take hours for Santa to hand out hundreds of presents. Our school was kindergarten through sixth grade, and each grade had 2 or 3 classrooms. It was mid-morning when sleigh bells in the hallway triggered screams of excitement, and Santa made his grand entrance. Jonathan was on his best behavior with his dad in the classroom. He didn't make any wisecracks when it was my turn to talk with Santa. Relieved, I carried my present back to my desk. After Santa left, everyone whooped it up, ripping off the wrapping paper and diving into their boxes with eager little hands, except for me. The boxes were the size of a small box of animal crackers, and they held both dark and milk chocolate bonbons. I don't know if this is the original picture. Probably not. Mama's request put me in an awkward predicament. Nobody else was saving their candy to take home. Jonathan, playing Dick Tracy, noticed. "Francis," he boomed, "how come you're not eating your candy?" Without thinking, I blurted out the pitiful truth. Jonathan stared wide-eyed at me like my mother must be from Jupiter. He found my confession amusing and he couldn't resist snickering. Why? Hasn't she seen candy before? I felt foolish just sitting there, so I decided to unwrap the box. Mama hadn't said she had to see the wrapping, too. Plus, I wanted to count the bonbons. Maybe mine had an extra and I could eat one after all. I got some odd looks when I asked everyone around me, "How many pieces did you get?" When I lifted the lid, the aroma of chocolate heaven hit me. I was totally captivated by the piece on top, a vanilla cream drop, drenched with chocolate-covered peanuts. Ooh, that sounds good. I don't even like the vanilla one. Peanut. Okay, I needed to hold my horses and rein it in a notch, but the temptation was too much, and I gobbled it down. Almost afraid, I peeked into my little box. It looked half empty, with the jumbo peanut cluster missing. What had I done? It was a feeling I couldn't name. I was a goner. Mama would never believe I only ate one. Already in a pickle, I figured I might as well eat the rest, and I savored every glue my teeth together bite of delight. All of us kids got in Dutch from time to time for being sassy, disobeying, or fibbing, but it was possible I could find myself in the doghouse by simply telling the truth. One time, my kitty, Percy Ann, came barreling through our garage, outrunning a pooch. In her rush, she knocked over a quart bottle of orange pop. Orange foam and broken glass were everywhere. Obediently, I ran into the house to report the emergency to Mama. I was proud of myself for seeking help immediately, but when Mama saw the mess, she promptly started spanking me. The louder I howled, "But the cat did it," the harder she spanked. So I knew I was doomed now. What to do? What to do? Daddy had lectured me. The problem with telling a lie is that you'll have to tell 5 more to cover it up. When I got home, Mama was full of Christmas cheer and bursting with anticipation. "Let's see," she said, wanting me to show her my box of bonbons. But despite Daddy's advice, it was too close to Christmas Eve to fess up. After all, I wanted toys from Santa. "We didn't get any," I brazenly lied, trying to sound breezy while sinking inside. Dumbfounded and disappointed, Mama kept repeating, "I wonder why not?" And "I can't believe it." I kept mum, and I was relieved when it seemed like Mama had forgotten all about it. However, January came along and she went to the PTA meeting. I don't know if Carolyn's still listening. During each meeting, there was a time for questions. Mama didn't hesitate to stand up and ask, "I'd like to know why the children didn't receive the boxes of bonbons they were supposed to be given by Santa." Mama was informed that the children had indeed received their bonbons. I cringed to think how humiliated and shamefaced Mama must have felt standing there and hearing that, and then thinking, "That Francis." When Mama got home, it was time to come clean. Lady Jane had some explaining to do, and she got her just desserts. Am I frozen? Well, it doesn't say, but I guess she did. She got her just desserts. Okay, no? Okay, I'm not frozen? Okay. This one's called Targeting the Tree. His marksmanship was rewarded, but his choice was not. Oh, and I want to show you the picture of the little, okay, Kevin. That's the little girl that ate all the candy. I don't know if I showed her. And this is another flashback fun. Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade has been held annually in New York City since 1924, except for a 3-year suspension during World War II. It was televised on a national network for the first time on CBS in 1948. It was first broadcast in color in 1960. It is a can of easy cheese, yes. Yes. Right, as Sparks, she was. Okay, this one's targeting the tree. Here's a picture of the kid. Initials MD. Here, a little older and wiser. Thought he would experiment with his new gun on Christmas Day in 1947. Sounds kind of like a Christmas story. It's by M.D. Smith. A boy's prayer and letter to Santa were answered. I got a sleek, blue steel, compact beauty. It was the perfect companion to my Red Ryder BB rifle. The ad that had caught my attention had appeared in every comic book that season. It was the Daisy number 118 Targeteer pistol. It was ideal for indoor shooting. It was Christmas 1947 in Birmingham, Alabama, and I had just turned 7. I knew the pistol used smaller shot at 12 caliber than the standard BB gun. What I didn't realize was that the tiny spring-powered BB would only puncture paper. It was barely noticeable when I shot it into my pants leg. I was disappointed with the lackluster power of the Targeteer. Even so, after other presents were opened, my father and I pumped lead into paper targets taped in front of a cardboard box with an included rubber sheet at the back to stop the shots. We could collect and reuse the itty-bitty shot. On Christmas evening, my parents left to attend a party at their friend's house, leaving only the housekeeper, Mariah, in charge of me. Oh, housekeeper, well, housekeepers, I guess, are live-in. I was in the living room later that evening, among all the Christmas gifts of the day, climbing under the sofa on my belly, pretending I was on a war mission behind enemy lines. But there was nothing to shoot that would react to the tiny BBs until I spied the Christmas tree with about 150 ultra-thin glass ornaments on it of every size, shape, and color. Or those would probably be worth a bit today. Only as an experiment to see if it would break one, I fired off a 12 caliber round from my trusty pistol. A loud pop, followed by the shattering of glass, rewarded my marksmanship on the first shot. Wow, what a great target that was. I knew my parents would not like me shooting the tree decorations, but they'd never miss just one. I knew I could clean up the little bit of glass and then remove the telltale hook and cap from the tree. They'd never even notice. I would have been correct if I'd stopped with one. But then I thought, well, they'd never miss 2. So another ornament bit the dust. It was like trying to stop eating after just one potato chip. Another and another exploded, and shattered glass came tinkling down. When I finally came to my senses, more than half of the ornaments were gone, and you definitely could tell it. I cleaned up the best I could, but I couldn't get inside the tree and behind it in the corner. Uh-oh, I hope they don't notice. Pretty sure I said a prayer. Then my parents came home and entered the living room, their eyes immediately fixed on the tree. Yeah, it did look somewhat barren. Dad shouted, Son, what did you do? My mother was speechless as tears trickled down her cheeks. Mariah entered the room and said, "Well, ain't he cute?" That was her favorite phrase for me and anything I did, good or bad. That didn't save me, having destroyed hand-down antique figurine ornaments along with the round balls. I got a hard spanking on the rear end, but the worst punishment was that I didn't see my trusty BB pistol for 6 months. Almost a lifetime for a kid. Lesson learned. And it's crazy. Can you imagine that? Okay. I'm going to do one more. And then we'll be done. Here's another one I think I'd save when her high 61 is in here. Just because it's about, in the Army. It's not the Civil War, but one more. We're going to read Planning Ahead. The T-shirts and shorts had to go by Lloyd Rutherford. And here's the Rutherfords. I'm only saying high 61. I'm not saying his real name. I don't even know his real name. Oh, that's what they did back in the day, Alicia. I got a few. I remember getting a few. They were just spankings on the behind. Spank, spank, spank. Wasn't, nothing. It wasn't horrible. There's some people that I think should have gotten some spankings when they was little. I grew up in the small community of Seymour, Tennessee. It's located around 10 miles southeast of Knoxville and 15 miles northeast of Pigeon Forge, nestled in the foothills of the Great Smoky Mountains. When I was growing up in the early 1960s, Seymour had one doctor, one dentist, one drugstore, one barbershop, one gas station, one grocery store, one restaurant, and a post office. That was it. But as a kid, I thought we had everything. We didn't have street numbers or zip codes in Seymour. Our address was just Route 3, King Road, Seymour, Tennessee. Ours was Route 7. Route 7, Box 240. That was our address, I remember, before they changed it. And they still live. My dad still lives there today. And my mother, I have to say my mom or she'll get mad. She'll say, "Debbie, why aren't you mentioning me?" Okay. Everyone had their last name painted on their mailbox, and the mail carrier pretty much knew who everybody was and where everybody lived. My two brothers and I usually spent the summers collecting stamps and baseball cards, putting together plastic models, playing with Matchbox, die-cast toys, playing baseball, and riding bicycles with the neighborhood kids. One hot summer, during the middle of August, my mother came outside carrying a big box of Christmas decorations. There was a bushy fir tree in our front yard, and she wanted us to decorate one side of it with Christmas ornaments. This seems strange. It's okay. Get a cookie when we're done. Hold on. Yes, you can have some chocolate milk. Okay. And don't interrupt. This seems strange, seeing how we normally never brought down the Christmas decorations from the attic until after Thanksgiving. She then came outside carrying my dad's Kodak Brownie camera to take a picture. Depending on the availability of color film at the drugstore, my parents would usually get the roll of film that had 24 exposures. Sometimes Kodak would throw in 2 or 3 extra exposures to make up for any lost exposures during the winding of the film. It usually took an entire year for our family to go through one roll of film. We would take a few pictures of us wearing our new Easter clothes, of birthday parties, of summer trips to Pigeon Forge and Gatlinburg, of Halloween costumes, and at Thanksgiving and Christmas. Mom would drop off the roll of film at the drugstore, and it would take 3 or 4 weeks to get the film developed. So, on this hot summer day, Mother asked us to kneel in front of the decorated tree so she could take a picture of us to use on a Christmas card that she would send out to friends and relatives. She was very proud of her 3 sons and wanted to show us off to everyone who hadn't seen us. They are cute. As she was viewing us through the lens of the camera, she suddenly paused and said, "It sure doesn't look very Christmassy with you boys sitting there wearing t-shirts and cutoffs." She marched us inside the house and dug out our winter clothes from the cedar chest. We had to put on long pants, coats, and winter hats. Now she made us go outside and kneel in front of the Christmas tree again. By then, several of the neighborhood kids had shown up on bicycles to see what was going on. They were curious about the unseasonal Christmas tree and why we were wearing winter clothes and temperatures hovering around 90 degrees. It seemed like an eternity as my mother went through the remaining pictures on that roll of film. As sweat trickled down my skinny chest and arms under that heavy coat, I kept thinking, she's finally lost it, and we're going to have her committed. After she finished the stage photo shoot, we were allowed to change back into our summer clothes and took down the Christmas decorations. My mom got the developed pictures back from the drugstore in September. Then she mailed a couple of negatives, the request form and payment, to the Christmas card company. 6 to 8 weeks later, her customized Christmas cards arrived just in time. She was able to get them addressed, stamped, and in the mail shortly after Thanksgiving. Everyone who received one of those Christmas cards seemed tickled to see how much we boys had grown since the last time they had seen us. 55 years later, I stumbled across one of the staged Christmas photos, and sweat started running down my arms again as I relived the moment. I decided to try to make my first customized Christmas card to send to friends and family. Everyone seemed to get a kick out of them. Nosy little punks. Oh, the neighbors. And I'll read Christmas Bells by Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. He lived 1807 to 1882. It's the good old days poetry. I heard the bells on Christmas Day, their old familiar carols play, and wild and sweet the words repeat of peace on earth, goodwill to men, and thought how, as the day had come, the belfries of all Christendom had rolled along the unbroken song of peace on earth, goodwill to men. Yes, this is almost done. Would you stop it? Stop. Okay. Till ringing, singing on its way, the world revolved from night to day, a voice, a chime, a chant sublime of peace on earth, goodwill to men. And then from each black, accursed mouth, the cannon thundered in the south, and with the sound, the carols drowned of peace on earth, goodwill to men. It was as if an earthquake rent the hearthstones of a continent and made forlorn the households born of peace on earth, goodwill to men. And in despair I bowed my head. There is no peace on earth, I said, for hate is strong and mocks the song of peace on earth, goodwill to men. Then pealed the bells more loud and deep. God is not dead, nor doth he sleep. The wrong shall fail, the right prevail, with peace on earth, goodwill to men. This is the poem. And underneath, written in pencil, must be the person that sent it in. Printed. Mary Martin O'Donnell. Thank you, Debbie. Thank you so much. Ethel, that's cute. Mary home have an aluminum Christmas tree rotating color wheel this season. Thank you. That is adorable. I like that. Okay, y'all. This little one is getting feisty. Yeah. So I promised her a cookie, some chocolate milk. Okay. And thank you all for coming, hearing some of the stories. I really enjoy reading them to you guys. I do. I hope you all like it and you come back next time. Okay. Don't forget to come back for story time. Okay. Story time. Hi, Kathy from Texas. Good, I'm glad, Justin. You're welcome, Mike. Hi, papery crafter, papier crafter one. Okay, y'all. Thank you, Bridget and Davita and Carolyn. See you next time. Love you guys. I gonna get my cookie now. And chocolate milk. Bye, baby dough. Don't say that because some people can't have that. Okay, I'm sorry. I'll have a stalk of celery and a glass of water. Bye all. See you next time.